Hello, I am very delighted to be here with three members of Australian Dance Adjudicators for an interview today. My name is Kirsten Beveridge. I am the Administrative Support Officer for BIFF, which is short for the British and International Federation of Festivals. And now I'm going to go around everyone and get them to introduce themselves, tell us a bit about themselves, and what is their background with festivals. So, Lisa, I think we'll start with you.
Okay, my name's Lisa Maloney. I'm the president of Australian Dance Adjudicators. I've been in that role since 2017, so coming up 8 years. Prior to that, I was the secretary. My background has always been in dance, so I owned my own school. And then after a while, I went into contract work and started contracting out to different schools in the area.
Brilliant. Kate, what about you?
I'm a member of ADA. I have been for almost 3 years, maybe. I'm a previous dance studio owner of 23 years and dancer before that. I'm currently living in Germany and with regard to festivals have judged in Europe, South Africa, Australia and the UK.
Thank you very much. And now Tatjana.
Hi everyone, my name is Tatjana and I've been a member of ADA since 2022. I started dancing when I was 6 years old and I started performing in tap solos at Eisteddfods and showcases, and this competitive environment really helped me grow. My earliest memory of performing at a festival was back in primary school. That was called the Hunter Dance Festival, and it's a big celebration of public school dances across the region. And from a young age, those group performances taught me early on how to listen, follow direction, and work as part of a team. And so that's where I fell in love with performing.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Now, you're all adjudicators, so I'd love to hear a bit more about how you became adjudicators. So actually, Tatjana, let's go straight back to you and start with you.
Okay. I actually became an adjudicator when I was quite young. I applied online at the beginning of 2022 when I was 18. And the process was quite detailed. I had to provide evidence of my qualifications and achievements. I attached my CV and I had to describe relevant experience in the dance industry. About a week after applying, I received an email confirming that I'd been accepted as a junior trainee member with ADA. And this meant that I had to complete online courses before finding adjudication work and opportunities. And as part of the program, I needed to complete 4 years of combined mentoring and small competition adjudication before qualifying for full membership at age 22. Once I was accepted, I paid the membership fee and I sent through my biography so my profile could be added to the ADA website. It was a proud moment for me, being recognised as someone ready to contribute from the other side of the stage and really help support the next generation of dancers.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you. Kate, what about you?
I was in the final year of owning my school, so that would have been back in 2022 when I applied. And same as Tatjana, so I had to submit all of my qualifications and a reference. I did my mentoring with Rowena in Newcastle, and then Lisa trained me in voice critiques, and then I got my first job in 2023.
Brilliant. And now you, Lisa.
Well, I'd just like to say Tatjana was our very first junior trainee. We'd never had anyone that young apply to be a member. So the executive came together and had to think about it because someone 18 years of age, we weren't really sure whether she'd be able to cope with some of the things that come up to do adjudicators. It's not always just about what's on the stage. Other things can be happening in the background that you have to deal with. So there was quite a bit of involvement in going through Tatjana's CV and checking things out. And that's when we set up the junior level of entry. So Kate came in just as a trainee. And then we have full membership. So there's 3 different levels. So I came on as an adjudicator. When I joined ADA, I wasn't adjudicating. So I was exactly the same as Kate. I sat in and was mentored by a member of ADA back then in 2016, I think it was, just like we do now. So have some guidance from someone who's in the position to, it's not just about sitting at a table and providing a critique. There's other things that happen and other things that you need to have going on in the background and be prepared for. That mentoring is really important.
Fantastic. And actually, we're going to expand a little bit more on that. So this question is mainly directed towards Kate and Tatjana, though, of course, Lisa, if you have something to say as well, that's fantastic. So I'd love to know what impact the traineeship had on your adjudicating now. What skills did you learn then that come up time and time again now when you're adjudicating? So Kate, can we start with you?
I think for me, one of the biggest benefits personally I found having Lisa critique me in my voice critiques, and so to really get that mentorship, and so she was detailed, and that helped me. And I think when you go into something like adjudicating, you are there for all of the students. You want to make sure that you don't have to think, did I say the right thing? Because you know you have. So Lisa was really good with me in that voice critique training. And that's probably one of the biggest things probably that I took for granted. I probably had this assumption that I thought I'd be fine with it, and I needed to get better at it. And so that was really good. That was something that was very valuable.
Brilliant. Tatjana, what about you?
For me, I think the traineeship had a huge impact on how I approach adjudicating. It pushed me to think practically and critically, especially because in a real Eisteddfod setting, you only see the routine once, and you have such a short time to write clear and provide helpful feedback before the next competitor comes on. So as part of the training, I had to judge 25 solo routines and 12 group dances and provide full reports for each. And in that, you have to have correct dance terminology, constructive comments, and a score. So this really sharpened my ability to give quick, thoughtful, and encouraging feedback that still offered something that the dancer could build on. And so after submitting those reports, I received valuable feedback from 2 ADA assessors, which were Lisa and Rowena. And that really helped me refine my tone and structure, and they made sure that my comments balanced both praise and constructive criticism. And after completing that, I had the opportunity to adjudicate my first Eisteddfod in 2022. There were 3 adjudicators in total, and we each had our own computer where we entered the scores, and so that was automatically processed through an Excel spreadsheet. It was quite straightforward, but what made it special was that one of the other adjudicators was someone that I had actually known from my competition days, and she's also a long-time ADA member, and she was very supportive. She guided me throughout the whole process and made the experience a really positive one. And so since then, Lisa, the ADA president, she regularly sends out emails with adjudicating opportunities, and it's a bit of a first come, first served system. So that's been great for getting experience and also staying active in the community. But overall, I would say the traineeship helped me grow a lot. It's taught me to be objective, constructive, and also encouraging, because as adjudicators, we're not just marking performances, we're shaping the confidence and the growth of young dancers coming through.
That was really well said, Tatjana. Yeah.
Thank you.
How special to have your first adjudication with someone that you had known for a long time already who could
Yes.
help you. That's so lovely. Lisa, I think actually I'm going to flip the question a little bit on its head for you. So obviously you've trained a lot of adjudicators. Has this kind of shone any spotlight on your own adjudication? Has it made you think more about your own style of adjudication through looking at others, at learning and how they do that?
I think when you're training someone, the hardest thing to do is not make them a reproduction of yourself, because we are all different and we all see things differently. Whether you think someone's agreeing with you or not, that's not important. It's how you see it. And adjudicators are employed for their opinion. And you're not going to please everybody, and you have to accept that. Everyone can see the person that they've put on stage as the best person. But you have to be objective and look at each person, look at their technique, what they're wearing, what the costuming is, what the choreography is, and how they engage the audience. Sometimes you can be sitting watching someone and the audience is just silent, and you know that they've drawn them into the performance. So I think you always have to be very secure in your thoughts. You have to know that what you see, someone else might not see. I'm very much one of those adjudicators that at the end of a section, I'll say, this is how I saw it. You may not agree with me, but these are the placings. Let's hope we've got the same top 3, maybe in a different order. So I think that's one of the things that's hard when you're mentoring, is not to make people look for exactly the same things that you look for. We all look for different things, and we all have to be individuals.
Yes, of course, that makes complete sense. I'm sure what draws the festivals to different adjudicators is the fact that they'll want different people with different opinions. And yeah, it must be so important to say, no, I want you to become your own adjudicator, have your own style, have your own opinions. So our next question kind of leads on a bit from that. So I'd love to know how and also why you got involved in training other adjudicators.
So there is mentoring by being part of our association. We have meetings twice a year where we all come on to a Zoom meeting. We might talk about something that's happened in a competition. So Kate input at the meetings could be mentoring other members that may not have experienced something she has. And I think that's one of the things that's so valuable in belonging to an association or a group. We all experience different things, but when we come together and we talk about it as a group, should that happen or something similar, it just gives you some sort of common ground to go from. At the moment, we have an executive and a sub-executive committee. So we send out the written online reports that our trainees do to the subcommittee to get their comments. So we have a fair bit of input with other people looking at reports coming through, training reports coming through. And then we provide an assessment back to the person that's completed it. So there's about 6 of us that do that.
I see. Thank you. That's brilliant. Thank you for giving me more background there. Why did you want to get involved in training other adjudicators? What drew you to that? You know, if you're adjudicating and you were having a really nice time doing that, what made you think I need to train up the next generation?
You get a lot of feedback from committees, which is really important. And sometimes committees will like to bring on young people who are dancers who have quite a high professional profile for dancing, but may never have adjudicated, and find that they can't put into words something that young dancers or even older dancers are able to comprehend and use as some sort of constructive criticism. So it's great to be a dancer and a performer, but sometimes you can't then put into words what needs to be put into words for someone who's trying to learn from their experience on stage. And I think training people and hearing them and then just guiding them in ways to be able to speak and be very conversational in your reports sometimes for younger ones, to say you worked really hard today on the stage. I could see you were concentrating. Just try and smile a little more so that I know that you're happy. You know, things that appeal to kids, and sometimes that learning doesn't come naturally. So you can be a fabulous dancer, but whether you can put into words for someone to learn from is just something that you might need a bit more guidance with.
Oh, completely. Dancing is just so visual that it can be quite challenging to find the words sometimes to describe exactly what you're seeing, and then also make it, as you say, child friendly, make sure it's in a way that the children understand is a positive and encouraging for them. Brilliant. Thank you so much. So I've got one final question left for you, which is, what would you say to others who are considering becoming an adjudicator? So maybe someone who's a very fantastic dancer and they want to kind of give back to others. So Tatjana, what would you say?
To that question, I would say that anyone can be a dancer, but being an adjudicator is something more. It's not just about having technical knowledge, it's about having perspective, empathy, and also a genuine desire to add value to the community. If you're someone who's positive, fair, and wants to help dancers grow, then adjudicating is definitely for you. It's a rewarding role because you get to support the next generation. You're shaping how young dancers view feedback, competition, and even themselves, which is a big responsibility. Adjudicating, it gives you a whole new appreciation for the art form. You start noticing the finer details, musicality, storytelling, and stagecraft, and that reminds you how much passion and effort goes into every routine. So if you're someone who wants to bring that kind of energy and someone who genuinely wants to lift others up, then adjudicating is the perfect way to do it.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Kate, what do you have to say?
Funnily enough, I was on the phone this morning with a dance teacher who's had their school for over 30 years, and I was encouraging them, come to ADA. And she's like, I don't know if I want someone mentoring me. I don't know. And so I probably speak to more the people that have been teaching for 30 years, that have had their own schools, that already feel that they can communicate well to different ages. And so why would those people want to become a member? And I can only speak for myself, to really learn the art of organisation, of adjudicating the long days. There's so much more that you learn on top of being a teacher, on top of having had your own school. And I said to this person, have you done voice critiques yet? Because they had adjudicator. And I said, no. And I said, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at how much you will learn. So they're coming on board, and I feel like there are lots of teachers out there that might feel comfortable to step into that role, but being part of an organisation does also help give you that framework and community to bounce ideas off and to maintain a standard, so that we're all maintaining a similar standard and a similar languaging, that we're all growing together within the organisation, and also safe dance practice, like continuity of what we're doing. I think it's great, and it was a very wonderful move for me.
And now Lisa?
I think as an adjudicator, you learn lots of things. You have to be organised, you have to be able to manage time, you have to keep to the structure of the committee's guidelines that they give you for placings. So it's just not the role of watching a dance. I think you add so many strings to your bow when you go into adjudication. You've been a dancer or a studio owner or whatever you may have been. Then you bring in more sort of administrative skills. So I think it's really important, if you've got time management, that you can keep to a program, because we don't want people there late at night. You have to get a program from a competition. Here in Australia, we often ask them first so that we can know what our timing is, each section, so that we're not having sections overrun. I would say to someone, if they love dancing, they think they would like to provide that constructive criticism and look at what's beyond that. Adjudicating is a great role. I remember when I was adjudicator as a kid, I remember looking at that adjudicator, watching me and thinking, oh, wow, she's so special. And you have to remember, little kids do see you as special, as someone of authority, someone who's watching them. And the impact you can have on someone is really important. So you need to keep, as Tatjana said, a balance, constructive. You need to be kind. You need to have understanding that, well, perhaps something you see on stage you might not like, but the teacher, the student, the parent, the grandparent, they all love it. So you have to remember to accept everyone and be appreciative of the time that's being put into that 2-minute, 3-minute performance on stage.
Fabulous. Thank you so much to all of you. It's been brilliant to hear all of your different perspectives about adjudicating. BIFF is so happy to have this connection with ADA, and we're really excited to learn so much more from each other. Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kirsten.
Much.
Thank you, ladies.